Hello again, dear lovely. From here, I can feel your heart beating, the adrenaline rushing so much faster. All right, dear love, let's go for another ride. But before that, be sure to check the safety first. Don't forget to use the follow button. Be sure the like button and the share button. They're confirmed with the click. Okay, hun? This rabbit hole that we're delving into now is never gonna be the same anymore. It will be tighter, and the air to breathe is getting less and less. So relax, hun. Be sure the gadget that you're using is nearby. Volume is crispy clear, because this rabbit hole is getting weird, and it's getting way creepier when this new security guy enters his new workplace at this strange house owned by a doctor.
The tea and vade made by my wife are meant as my meal tonight. Along with it, she urges me to bring some things, to set up a small altar meant to keep the evils away, which she obtained from a Hindu shaman at her local temple. Why do I need this setup? Why not follow me to the end to find out? Because something very, very bad might happen to me, which may cost me my life. So, I need your full attention. Before we proceed, I am Pravanesh, and I had just been employed as a night shift security guard. After being jobless for almost a year. Hell yeah. This is my escapade from the daily brutal nagging of my wife too. My security company got a contract with this mental health consultation center called The Shrink to provide a security guard for the night shift. Before this, it was a residential bungalow, but it has been transformed into a place meant for the rich suffering from emotional damage to meet up with their doctor or whatever at this place. Heck, all I know as a poor person like me, if my wife gave me emotional damage, the best doctor is Dr. Toddy. Nah. Relax, guys. I'm just joking, just to lighten up the mood a bit, okay? Well, that's a trivial bit about my job, because at this age, with my low education qualifications, getting a job at this bungalow located deep in the jungle of Kuala Lumpur seems like a blessing from God. But lucrative as it is, my wife doesn't really agree to me taking up this job. But to be honest, for this 50-year-old man, after hearing from my wife, Nandini, who is also a Grab driver, well, the history is not good. Hello, ma'am, or sir. Hello, I'm Pravanesh, the new night shift security guard, reporting for duty, ma'am, or sir. See, that is one of the weird thing about this new workplace. I don't know who the hell is opening the gate each time I speak into an intercom when I need to enter or exit. If you think that's weird, wait till you hear what I have to tell you next. My security company was informed by the Shrink that there will always be a few caretakers who will also be working their night shift, along with my night shift. But up to today, I have never seen anyone here at all. Where is the person in charge of this place? I don't know about you, but this is the third day that I'm here, and it's already severely making my skin crawl. And the craziness is not done yet. Why? So, from the first day I'm here, no one is here to inform me about anything. There had only been a letter left for me at my security desk, which of course, for me to read about the 3 instructions on what to do and the 3 instructions on what not to do. One of it is that I am put in charge of the keys to the whole building. Okay, that is cool with me. A simple set of instructions suitable for security job. But the last set of instructions is the reason why I'm telling you this story. So, please listen carefully. Okay, the doctor who owned this building is a Malay guy. His name is Dr. Norman. He is a psychiatrist, or as the Americans called it, as shrink. So, the last 3 instructions were written specifically for me by Dr. Norman himself. The other instructions were an agreement made by the doctor and my company. Okay, these are his instructions. Number 1, at 3 a.m., I must lock my guard post, and I must stay locked inside and to never even open it, even if I hear my immediate family knocking, begging me to open. Not even unlock the door, even if someone said that the building is burning down or is being robbed whatsoever. Okay, that's number 1, and that is enough to make this old man's balls shrink. And it's specifically mentioned in the letter 3 times, actually, that I have to be inside my post at least half an hour early. Yeah, of course, I would do only that. Who would want to wander around in the wee hours of the night, patrolling the building surrounded by a scary jungle, especially when my guard post was equipped with not just a bathroom and a toilet, but a bedroom and a TV. Not just that, all the snacks, tidbits, and fresh fruits were perfectly stocked up in the refrigerator, made available, especially for me. So, why would I want to roam around like that? This guard post that I am stationed at is already a top-notch 5-star hotel for us security guards. Surely many would die just to have a workplace like mine. The only catch. Okay, listen to the second instruction. Dr. Norman specifically highlighted in his letter that I adhere to that particular instruction. The letter mentioned that something will be coming to bother me at that particular time, and it might take any form of either a Western woman, an old Western man, or even a Western child. And that thing will try to engage with me to open the door and let it inside. And the moment I interact or reply to it, I will be hypnotized, and I will do anything the thing asks me to do. And that is opening the door. As per Dr. Norman's instructions, I am to just remain quiet in the room and ignore whatever distractions the thing might throw at me. And Dr. Norman advised that for my safety, I am prohibited from even looking at them. Just watch the TV and blast the volume if needed. I can also devour the snacks provided to keep me from engaging with that thing. Heck, the good doctor even advised me that I am free to use the bed and sleep if I had to, just so I am not distracted by that thing. I am even allowed to wake up later in the day, and the doctor badly wishes to see me still safe and alive when he comes to work in the morning. According to Dr. Norman, apart from those who ran off after only a few days on the job, the ones who stayed ends up dead. That's why the doctor didn't mind paying me a handsome salary, equivalent to the salary of a doctor. And that handsome salary will only be paid at the end of the month, and this has only been the first week. Will you be able to survive until end of month? Hell yeah, of course. I want to survive. And this is the third instruction. The caretakers will always equip my post guard with a wiper and mop. Use it when water begins to seep into the room. Listen carefully. The thing might also take the form of water seeping in through the main guard post door, and I must always use the tools left by the caretakers for me before the water turns to blood. There is a specific drainage on the floor at the entrance built to drain the water out. Sweep that water away to that drain. I have to make sure to keep sweeping the water towards the drain and not let it pool for even a minute. If the water pooled, it will turn into blood and will morph into a human figure. It will be too late if the thing has morphed from the blood and is already inside my room. There will be nothing else left to do. Either way, both situations are equally deadly. I've already signed the agreement, so they will not be held responsible for my death. Now, again, do you still want my guard post? Of course, the shrink was formed to treat the royals, the big corporates, and the big politicians, so you know what I mean? I'm just a poor, uneducated man working as a security guard in here. Anyways, before me, there have been multiple cases of death as told by Nandini, my wife, and I'm freaking sure that their deaths has something to do with these weird and creepy instructions. But the instructions are not the dailies. It will come to terms only at the time when the moon is full. And tonight is my first shift here during the full moon.
It's been almost 3 years already, and I think I have seen enough of it. And my son, oh my son, I don't understand today's young'uns, but I did my best as to nurture and protect him. Well, all right, if you must know, it's this place that I'm currently working at, all simply because of my son and his patient, Nurul Azlina, or Inna, as what people would love to call her. My son, Muhammad Aduka Kenchana, I taught him everything about the Al-Quran and Hadith, and his father even taught him self-defense too, according to our Malay traditional martial arts. We, me and my husband, tried our best to divert him from being the one we are now. But still, I don't know what God's plan is for him. But already, he is becoming more and more like us now. Although, according to his academia, and now, he is currently working as the engineer at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. But why does God still continue to use our only descendant as his divine healer just like us? Well, that's what has actually been worrying me, but today, Alhamdulillah, I finally understood God's plan for us as a family. And that is why I have been working in this haunted building. They called this building as the Shrink. And from this place, I finally came to a conclusion. And that is how I, for the first time, opening myself up to Nurul Azlina, or Ina, to be her mother-in-law. But hey, it's not like I'm against the marriage between my son Aduka and Dina. But the gap in their age is like too rare for our society today. My son Aduka, he is now 34 years old, married Ina last year. And now, Ina is at 48. That is 14 years apart between them. It's normal for a 48-year-old man marrying a 34-year-old woman, but not the vice versa. Ah, the society and me at this age. I knew too damn well about keeping our space between us, and the society. We can never do anything to satisfy them. A trillion's worth of sacrifices for them. But when we did a simple one mistake, those trillions worth of sacrifice, suddenly, goes flying out the window. Just like that. And through that toxic relationship between us and the society, came the understanding about our relationship with our God, our holy creator. Oops. Before this old lady gets into her preaching mode, I think I'd better get to the point now. But I hope you will all be ready, for what I am about to tell you is horrific in nature. So bear with me as I break everything, piece by piece to you. But I'd better inform you in advance that this thing is not gonna be described in one day. But I will try my best to keep feeding you all the dots so later you can easily connect them. Okay, love. Before I go further, let us get back to the time when my son, Aduka, got his first calling, to be the divine healer, like us. Well, it started so early when he was just 5 years old, around dusk that time. Actually, what happened was, there was a Djinn sent via witchcraft by a witch doctor who was engaged by a very rich Malaysian-Eurasian family. That Malaysian-Eurasian family, their only son, fell in love with one of the twins from a Malay oligarch, and one of that twin Malay brother is Dr. Norman. Yes, his twin brother has the unnatural romantic relationship with that Eurasian family's son. But of course, as the Malay oligarchs, to protect their dignity in our conservative society, they consulted us, begging us to cure Norman's brother, Norden. Well, no matter how much we tried to avoid it, they somehow forced us using their oligarchy ways, bending the law, and they got my husband convicted as a drug dealer. So our only choice that time is either to let my husband be hanged to death or help them cure their son, Norden. To be honest, we don't know how to cure that unnatural romantic relationship or what is known today as homosexual relationship. But as they've threatened us, so we were left with no other choices, but we have to use some form of magic from the most dangerous book called Shamsa al-Makrif. And that is to connect with the Djinn inside us, called Qarin. Well, okay, in Islam, Allah, with His grace and mercy, put a test on each one of us since we were in our fetal state, which is to allow Qarin, the Djinn, to reside within us and whisper evil temptations to us. And when we die, the Qarin will use us, who have already fallen into his temptations, as evidence to drag us to hell. Cut the story short, we are permitted by God to communicate with Norden's Qarin, and after a few rituals, we also managed to get Norden's Qarin to stop urging Norden into homosexual temptations with that Eurasian family son. Norden, who's been cured back to his innate nature of humanity, brutally despised his former lover. After being servilely injured and shocked by this new reality, the Eurasian boy went back home, and without consulting his family, decided to hang himself to death. The family found his body in his room, and that room is the room I am currently in. This house was theirs before Norman turned it to become a mental health center, catering only for the oligarchs of Malaysia. After they found out that Norden's family sought my treatment, which resulted in their son's death, they decided to retaliate, thus began their grudge towards me and my family. Well, now I hope you've all learnt the lesson from our deal with the devil. A few days after that Eurasian family's son died, the Qarin residing in Norden broke his promise with me, resumed whispering the homosexual temptations to Norden, and once Norden knew about the death of his lover, he felt guilty with the way he treated the Eurasian boy. Missing his former lover and longing to be with him again, Norden too ended his life by drinking pure acid. But before we proceed any further, allow me to tell you about the nature of Djinns. They initially only have a unique gender, and each time they want to mate, one of them will transform to become a female, while the other will transform to become a male. It is also possible for the one who was previously female to transform into a male, and the male would become female. They are at their free will to be whichever gender they chose to be. Allah created jinns before humans were created. Their home is here on Earth. Their habitat on Earth is where there are animals' excrements, feces, and carcasses. This planet Earth was made by Allah exclusively for them. Why are the excrements, carcasses, and waste matters the attraction for jinns? Because these matters are the base of petroleum, and jinns are made from fire. Now, can you figure out the symbiotic relationship between jinns and petroleum? Fires need fuel to ignite. Now, imagine, we humans populate their habitat and consume their petroleum for our mechanical engines. What do you think will happen to this world? We would then be disrupting their resources, and there would be consequences. How could humans and jinns live without any agreement or diplomacy? And from that agreement and diplomacy is the source of all the evils and chaos in this world. We humans are made from earth, soil. The Karin, which Allah allows to reside in humans, are part of jinns. And the nature of humans, we consume things which grows on earth, including animals. Our food's last stop before being discharged as excrements is in the stomach. That's where the habitat of the Karin is, in a human's body. And from all these explanations, I hope you can connect the dots and will understand the origins of homosexuality in humans and all the evils and chaos in this world. That's why those who are possessed by homosexuality loves playing with feces during their mating session. I can tell you more, and from this knowledge is where all the chaos in the world originates. Each and every person is prone to homosexuality because of the Karin. It's just a matter of how strong is your spirit, or as we call it, ruh in Islam, to resist the urge to submit to the temptations. And for that, always remember, planet Earth doesn't belong to us. We are not created for this planet. Our real habitat is in heaven. And to know why we are here, go do your research about Abrahamic religions. Before we resume our story, I would like to give you one more dot, just to help you better understand about the world we're living in. Allah will send unto us the Ummah of End Times, a representative of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is Imam Mahdi. He will sever the diplomacy between humans and jinns, whereby then all our mechanical engines will cease to function. We will no longer consume the jinn's resources, which is the petroleum. Hence there will be peace all around. Oh no, please forgive me, for sometimes I can't avoid slipping into an old lady's preachy mode. Imagine how my husband and Aduka themselves cope with me. Please bear with me, and let's get back to our story. But what is Norman's role in this story? And why has he gone to Black Hills Forest, Maryland? How strong is the mental relationship between him and his twin brother, Norden? But wait, I will get into that later, don't worry. As long as God permits me to still be alive, after what I am about to do soon. Then I will tell you more. Okay, love. Now my son, on that fateful evening, he was actually possessed by the Djinn sent by that witch doctor. But no matter how hard we prayed and done all that we knew, that Djinn possessed and tortured my 5-year-old son. And that's when we saw that tall religious man. We thank God for his intervention. My son has been healed. But the only problem was that tall religious guy sent by God to us was actually Muhammad Aduka Kentana today. Yes, how is that possible? After my son has been himself, he also told me about that tall religious guy. And as a mother, And as a humble servant of God, I already knew his fate, which is being chosen by God to live the life of lonely introverts like us, misunderstood by the society. And Aduka and his beloved wife, who once was a sick woman, led me to this building they called the Shrink. And for the first time, after I have seen enough evidence, tonight I'm going to break the contract agreement between me and Dr. Norman. And that is to save that new security guard, Pravanesh.
So sleep, my baby, sleep. When you wake up soon, like, follow and share this beloved nightmare. And I'll be sure, once a week, will satisfy your craving and addiction with the Pure Supply dosage.